So my name is Tyler,
I'm Tyson.
I'm Alvin.
I'm Brandon.
and our group name is Team PJ. We were tasked with creating a precision launcher for a competition, and we wanted to take this opportunity to get a feel for the type of work engineers do. To ensure that our project was the best that it could be, we implemented each stage of the engineering design cycle into the planning and building of our FEDD project. As can be seen in this simple diagram we created, there are 5 main components of the engineering design process, and we'll go through each and explain them in terms of our project. Our first step was to ask exactly what was being asked of us. Through group discussion, through review of all the instructions, and communication with our project guru for clarification on certain design requirements, we compiled a list of everything required of us and incorporated this information into a question that we could answer through the planning and building of our launcher. This is what we came up with. How can we design and build a creative, functional, and consistent device that utilizes multiple forms of energy transfer to launch a foam projectile at the center of a target placed 30 feet away that can fit into a cubic box with side lengths of 4 feet and that can be set up to reshoot in 30 seconds or less? We began the next phase of the cycle by brainstorming and discussing some potential designs. As we talked more, our first idea of a gearbox and axle-powered punch rod was replaced with a spring-loaded device similar to our final design. However, this device did not comply with the zero energy state requirement, and we then went on to consider a crossbow-like system pulled back and fired by dropping a weight attached to pulleys. These are images of our design brainstorming.
Our next task was to plan our project, and our first step in doing so was creating our team contract. We came up with a detailed schedule that helped us throughout the duration of the project, and we assigned roles so that each team member knew what was expected of them. We then conducted research to help us choose our final design and projectile. Our research also helped us understand the physics behind our launcher and ensure the compliance with design requirements. We then decided on a final design and purchased materials to build our launcher.
These are the design graphics of our final design and an image of all the materials that we got. The cost of our materials was $40.
Our next step was to create our launcher. We met on scheduled build days and outlined every task we needed to accomplish. This is an overview of our tasks. We started by building the frame out of wood using a saw to cut pieces. Next, we used a Dremel to precisely cut nails and screws that were too long, cut angles in the wood frame, and cut slots in the PVC pipe. Lastly, we focused on adjustments that required further building, such as adding cushioning, reducing the size of the launcher frame, and substituting nails for screws.
And here are some images of the building process.
Next stage in the building process was to improve our launcher. For the most part, our design came together as expected, though we did run into several issues while building, including the width of the launcher being too wide, the force being too great when the metal component struck the PVC, using different sized nails, and the stability of the whole launcher. To fix these problems, we resized the frame to less than that of the width of the door, added sponge to cushion the impact from the spring launcher mechanism, substituted all the nails with screws, and added supporting beams to the frame base. We did find a couple of underlying issues after building though. The accuracy of the launcher at large distances was not great, and the ease of height adjustment for dropping the weight was not also a good system as well. In the end, our testing paid off by testing out different drop heights and band resistances to find the perfect combination that would be good for our application.
Next, we competed at FEDD and placed 6th. We feel like we could have done better, but had a good time at the event still. These are pictures of the event and a short video of our launcher in action.
There are some things we would do differently if we had the chance. Going back to the beginning of the engineering design cycle, we would consider even more designs. At FED, we observed other groups and noticed that mnemonic designs seemed to work with more consistency and were aimed and adjusted easily. This was beneficial because bullseye height was unknown until the day of the competition. Looking back, we we would have liked to focus more on ease of aim for that reason. Another thing that we would do differently is to devote more time to testing and starting the building process earlier. We feel like with a better feel for our launcher, we could have performed better at FED. We were able to test the launcher after the competition, and our accuracy improved with practice using the launcher.
Next, we have some advice for future freshmen. First of all, plan ahead for things like build space, project storage, and transportation to the McKimmon Center on FED Day. Time is limited and constraining, so start as soon as you get your group assignment. Also, keep in mind that FED Day is on the busy week before Thanksgiving break. We found that taking the team contract assignment seriously and sticking to the schedule that we created helped us with time management. We also suggest that future freshmen outline exactly what they are being asked, and keep in mind that the objective of the competition is to hit a target with a bullseye height that will be unknown until competition. This means that the launcher should be easily adjustable. In addition to these things, we would like to let future freshmen know that testing and revision will be most likely necessary and take time. And lastly, we would encourage freshmen to talk to their professor and project guru. We avoided making an unnecessary project by doing this. And also taking pictures will be beneficial when it is time to present.
And these are the citations for the resources that we used while doing research.